So welcome back to the Tadpole tutorials. We will design a foolproof building structure and we will study the seismic. Seismic is another name for earthquake. We will study seismic analysis as per the IS code. Everyone please remember IS 1893-2002. This is an old code on earthquake. First of all, I tell you, this code had been developed by IIT Kanpur, IIT Roorkee, and the BMTPC, that is Building Material and Testing Projects Research Center. So IIT Roorkee and IIT Kanpur had been the pioneers in earthquake engineering in India. So based on that, we will we will study this IS 1893-2002, but I want to share one important thing, that this is an old code. The new code is 2016 version, but unless and until we learn the old code, it is very difficult for us to understand this new code, okay? In the Google Classroom, I will upload some materials on StatPro and also I will upload the codes. So if you don't know the 2002 code, we will not be able to understand the 2016 code, okay? So that is why I have thought of bringing you the palette or platter of 2002 code, okay? So now let us start with our journey. So IS 1893 codal provisions for seismic analysis on structure. Now we will study or we will learn that there are three important methods to do an earthquake analysis on a structure. First is the basic one, equivalent static analysis method. In this method we will learn where we will basically learn how much forces, how much lateral forces are acting on a structure through some simple arithmetic formula. Simple formula we will apply and we will find out how much forces are coming on the every floors on the structure. This is the most virtuous, it is a field test or it is a direct way to analyze, and it is very simple to learn. Second method is we have a response spectra method. Response spectra method is basically a dynamic method. Equivalent static is the static method, while the response spectrum is a dynamic method which takes care of response spectra analysis. This response spectra is also given in this IS 1893 code, okay? Very interesting. This code is also given, this thing is also given in this IS 1893 code. Okay. And the third is we have time history analysis. Time history analysis is much more complex dynamic analysis where we take the recordings, where we take the values which have taken place previously. That means based on previous earthquake, my voice is not audible. Are you
Yes,
facing
sir.
problem with audio?
Yes, sir.
I don't think
There's a lag sometimes.
okay, so that might happen actually. Okay, just a minute. No, it's right. It's right. Is there any echo?
Yes, sir, a little bit. Sir,
Yes, sir.
is it possible to have it on Gmeet instead?
Actually, I wanted to show something highlighting, that is why I've taken.
Is Yes, sir. These network issues are a bit minimized in GMeet. So,
Okay, let's carry on. Let's see what happens. Okay. Because I brought this, or I informed all of you to come in Zoom, because I will be showing the full slide actually. There might be slight audio lag, but please take care. Everything is given in the PPT, so please follow. Okay, I think. Okay, so these things which I was discussing, all these things, that is, we have dynamic analysis. Under this dynamic analysis, it is given in clause 7.8 IS 1893. And also we have simplified method of lateral force method, which we will learn today. It is given in clause 7.5 of IS 1893 part 1. And the third method is time history analysis, which is beyond the scope of our this IS 1893. So we have basically two codes, the 2002 version and 2016 version. Next is coming to everything which I will discuss, that is, in the dynamic analysis, obviously, what are the things when we will apply this dynamic analysis? Because there are two important methods, static method and dynamic method. Okay, static method is easy and it can be applied in any height. Okay, so first of all, the static method can be applied to any buildings, whatever the height may be. But IS code have recommended that there are some of the things which we have to follow. There are some criteria which we have to follow for dynamic analysis. Okay. So first, for regular buildings which are greater than 40 meter in height in zone 4 and zone 5. Okay. So for regular buildings means where the plan is regular, rectangular plan, square plan, circular plan, they are regular plans. Irregular plans, like we have H-shaped, T-shaped, I-shaped, L-shaped, all these various shaped plan buildings are known as irregular buildings. Now, regularity and irregularity can be classified in various ways. It can be in plan, in terms of stiffness, in terms of your vertical elevation, all these things. So for 40 meter in height, with the buildings which are 40 meter in height in zone 4 and 5. Acha, first of all, tell me, first of all, I want to say that seismic zone is divided into 4 main zones. Zone 1 and zone 2, they are considered under zone 2. Zone 1 and zone 2, they are combined to enter into zone 2. Next we have zone 3 and we have zone 4. Okay, zone 3 and zone 4. So 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have 4 different zones, while zone 1 and zone 2 are combined under zone 2. Now, 5 years back, all these areas, the whole Indian map is given in IS 1893, the last page. And they have shown the various regions where the regions falls under various zones. Now, by and by, with the advancement of years, this zoning is increasing. That means earlier, West Bengal or Kolkata was in zone 2 because of reduced frequency. There was not so much of earthquake tremors. But over the last 5 to 6 years, this Kolkata has been updated to zone 2 from zone 2 to zone 3. And quite interestingly, we have seen that it is from a common sense that hilly areas or mountain areas, they are all zone 4 and 5. That means this zone 4 and 5, they are extremely severe and extreme earthquake prone areas. So coming to regular buildings, some buildings which are greater than 40 meter in zone 4 and 5 and those greater than 90 meter in zone 2 and 3. So for this type of buildings, we can conduct dynamic analysis. In many competitive examination, these MCQs come, okay. And for irregular buildings, these are all mentioned in table 6.1 and 6.2. So details you can check in the IS 1893 code. The 2002 version is most important. Then you can follow 2016 code. So it's telling that all frame buildings higher than 12 meter in zone 4 and 5 and greater than 40 meter in zone 2 and 3. So for irregular buildings, earthquake is more vulnerable. That is, the severity of earthquake is very high. This thing it is clear to all. Now this zoning is very important because when we will learn all these things, that the factors to find out this static analysis, this is basically a mathematical method, okay. So we have to follow all these zones. Next, coming to our lateral force procedure today, which we will learn. The basic method, the basic thing which we will find is the design seismic base shear. Design seismic base shear is given by VV equals to AH into W. So design seismic base shear is basically the maximum shear force acting at the foundation of the building. Just like if you take a cantilever beam under any sort of loading, under point load or UDL or any sort of loading, we find that the maximum shear force acts throughout the beam. Okay. Now, if we have UDL, then the maximum shear force acts at the fixed end. Similarly, just like the cantilever fashion, the seismic base shear or the base shear and acting on the structure is maximum in the foundation. So the formula is AH into W, where W is the seismic weight, the total seismic weight acting on the structure. Seismic weight means it includes dead load and some amount of live load, okay. And that is also we have some criteria. Dead load is obviously the most important priority, and this live load, it also has some criteria. So when we can consider, when we cannot consider. So total seismic weight and AHC, it is a design horizontal seismic coefficient. Design horizontal seismic coefficient, okay. So what is the formula? So the basic thing we need to remember two formulas: design base shear and the distribution of lateral forces acting on various floors. That is the QI, which I will discuss in the next slide. So the formula of AH is ZI by 2R multiplied with SA by G, where Z is the zone factor or the zone, I is the importance factor, R is the response reduction factor, and SA by G is a spectral response spectrum. So all these things in details we will learn, and then we will go to StatPro, because directly going to StatPro without talking about the theory is completely meaningless. Okay, so understand, to AH, this is the formula. All this formula is given in our IS code. Okay, coming to this maximum now, the zone factor. The zone factor, just a minute. Let me stop the sharing.